Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm about to get Rocky on here, I think, and get going. This is my first time doing a dual person TikTok. So let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Where is she? It gave me all of these suggested hosts, and it's like, y'all know who I wanted to be on here. Allow co-hosts, receive invites from suggested live co-hosts. Hello, Esteban. It is. It's just me and you right now. I'm getting everything together. I'm going to have Rocky on here. Hello, Dandy Logan. Good to see you. In just a minute, if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. I see where I can add a person, but I don't see like how to like search for someone that like, and some of these people I don't even know. I might have to wait for her to like jump on. Hey, Julie. Good to see you. Hello. Look at a step. Hello, everybody. Hello, sunshine and seahorses. Hi, I am Baby Low. Hello, hello, Eva. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the person on that I want on with me. So, and so that might be a minute. Maybe if I tag her, it'll come up. 1946. It's not popping up. Let's see. Okay, so now like I have her there. So now let's see. See if she pops up. And she didn't. Okay, so whenever she joins, I'm going to have her probably, like asked to join in. So, okay, so this is what I wanted to do. If you all have not seen the movie Pray Away yet, the documentary, it's on Netflix. I need you to watch Pray Away. Oh, thank you so much, Joan. Oh, I am so sorry to hear about that young man taking his life, y'all. If we could just for a second, just Joan put tagged me in a video earlier this morning about a young trans man who took his life, and Asher is his name. I'm trying to remember the rest of the handle. Asher Love 27 maybe. And it was so tragic. I cried even just watching the things that she had to say. And this is one of the reasons why this is happening now. As far as talking about this movie, talking about the horrible impact that Pray Away the Gay and these you know these ministries that are dedicated to trying to change people. It's part of the reason why I think this conversation should be had, and more than just once, consistently, because of people like Asher and others who succumb to the pressures, and their families are fueled by the hatred and the vitriol that they receive from these ministries. The message that we get from them is so damaging, in the sense that, and the bad thing is it's so smeared with love, right? So there's this it's smeared with love, and then the message though is literally poison. And I'm talking about the movie. It's called Pray Away, and it is on Netflix. It's a documentary. It just released today. And so I know a lot of people have not seen it. I don't intend that we will do spoilers or anything like that, as far as like, talk much in depth. So we're not going to like spoil the documentary for you. That's not the goal. Hello, Pastor Jeff. Good to see you. And hello to everyone that's come in. I know I've missed a few people. I don't want to spoil it, but I do want to open up this conversation. And Rocky should be joining us soon. I'm about to message her from my other device right now and see how we can, because I'm horrible when it comes to this kind of stuff. So let's see. I'm live now. See if that'll go through for her and she can, and I'll just tell her request to join if you can. Cool. And I'm sending it through her wrong. Let me send it through her. I'm sending it through the wrong handle. Let me go to 1946, the movie. Okay, hold on. Request to join the live, please. Cool. So when she requests, then she can get in. Because I couldn't figure out how to bring her in. So, oh, thank you so much, Kindred. And yes, Esteban, you can, if you can do me a favor though, and put it in the question and answer. If you see that little question box down there, put it there because I'm looking in other places. I don't want to miss anyone's question. So if you all have a question, oh, thank you so much, Afro Native. If you have a question, and hello from Nashville, B Doug. If you have a question, please put it there so that I don't miss you. I'm not trying to be rude. And I know sometimes I even feel that way. Sometimes I come in on somebody's live and then they're talking all around my question or what I said, and I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. Hi, more grapes, less wrath. How are you? And do I support Palestine? Let me bring that up. Do I support Palestine? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Nat. Good to see you, Minister Nat, one of my ministers from my church. Hello. Yes, and I will say, before you all watch this movie, so we're going to be talking about the movie Pray Away. Thank you, Rich. Before you all watch this movie, please prepare yourself because it is not it's a documentary, so it is not coming. Hey, Rev Timoth, it's not coming from one perspective. It is coming from both perspectives. It's not coming from just an affirming view, it's coming from a non-affirming view as well. And it's coming from a place of, there are people who have changed sexuality. And so you're going to see some of that in this documentary. And so prepare. There's 1946. Are you able to request to join this live? Because I couldn't find you on the little scroll down list on how to put you in. So I don't know. Look at us both. Don't know how to work. We don't know how to work TikTok. So there's like this link thing that I see. It's like a red and a blue link. Maybe if you press that, if you see that on your end, maybe that's it. I don't know. So just press a whole bunch of buttons and see which one, because I know there have been people that have requested to join my lives before. And yeah, see if that works. If you go live, if you can join in. There have been people that request to join my lives and I've rejected them. So I know you're able to do it. Okay, so yeah, Rev Timmons said you need to go live and then you can join in somehow, some way. So okay. So I didn't know how to do it, y'all. So bear with me. This is my first time joining somebody on live. Y'all know I've only been on TikTok for a little, maybe 2 months now. So I am literally still learning. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There she is.
Figured it out. Because like on
didn't know how to do
Instagram,
it.
it's different.
It is, and
Yeah.
Facebook is different. All of these different things. And thank you so much, Innocent. Thank you. Cool. And these are not Bibles. This is actually a fake um backdrop, and it's just hanging up there. So,
That's hilarious. I really thought that was real.
I know it looks real, doesn't it? And I have Bibles though. I have stuff like everywhere right now in my room. But I have some Bibles that are just spread out around on the floor right now. But so I was kind of preparing everyone and saying that before they watch Pray Away, that they need to prepare themselves for viewing that documentary. So perhaps you can also kind of chime in on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I actually didn't even put in my notifications what this live stream is about. So if anybody's just joining us, hello, Candace and Rocky. We're talking about the movie Pray Away that just was released today on Netflix. I've seen the movie 3 times now. And yeah, I would say just be prepared to hear testimonies that are hard to hear. And then that might bring up certain memories that you might have from your own traumatic experience. And so obviously being a pray away, just from sounding the sound of the title, it's about conversion therapy, or the idea that you can be rid of your homosexual or same-sex attraction through prayer, through peer counseling, through other forms of conversion type therapy, whether it's meeting with a counselor, etc. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tough subject. How many times have you seen it?
Twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it twice. I've and it's tough, and even for myself, I haven't ever gone through conversion therapy, or even anywhere close to it, and so I'm not sure if you've experienced it yourself.
I've been to a
So I
Left
can
One Out
imagine.
conference. So I have
Wow.
experienced one of the conferences, and then I've gotten tapes and various other forms of media throughout the years, but one conference, that was enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine the impact that it's having on people. And if there's anyone on this live now that you've gone through it, you're a survivor. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean,
I know.
it's just so hard, and I commend you for surviving. There were so many that have not. I don't think people understand that this is not just simply let's pray for you. This is, we are going to literally just, who you are is an
At
affront
the
to God.
at your core, right?
Yeah, and there's something wrong with you. Not like there's a behavior that, but there's something wrong with you. And we think that if you have enough faith, then that can go away. And it's so damaging. And there's so many people that have so much to unpack, but I'm glad that this movie is exposing it so that we can start talking about it.
So one thing I want to say, I've noticed from the comments, we had one video go pretty viral about posting about the movie, and some comments were really negative about the people who are the subjects in the film, and they are LGBTQ people who started these programs, some of them, or ran these organizations. And so, to anybody who might have any animosity toward these people, these people are telling their stories, and they have renounced all of this. They know it was wrong. They know that one guy even says, I have blood on my hands. Like, he was told, you have blood on your hands. Like, it's very hard for these people to tell these stories. And they
Yeah.
really believed what they were doing. So,
Yeah.
another thing that we need to remember is, you know, is that. But then on top of that, people who might be hurting us still in our lives really believe what they're doing. This is
Yeah.
about belief. And so some of it is a business side, some of it is exploitation, some of it is then these people were used as props.
Yeah.
They were used as props. So let's please go into it with empathy for these people and their stories, whether they are survivors or they were influencers of this.
Yeah.
Some people obviously are still influencers of it. Those people we can have a different opinion about, but we still want to show love and grace.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's
And
it. So
yeah, I think it really, that touches on something so important because people have a passion and conviction behind it a lot of times. And that's what's fueling a lot of the people. I think the real enemy is what's behind even that. And that's why I'm so
correct.
thankful for 1946,
Thank
because
you.
we find that there's a machine behind it all. And really everyone else is a puppet in the machine,
Correct.
and it's orchestrating, kind of how the narrative is going. And so there's something bigger than even Exodus International or any of the other ex-gay movements behind them that's fueling them to want to even make this thing, this movement. So yeah, a lot of these people are not, they're not the enemy. The enemy is quite larger and more silent. The ones that are parroting, that they're just parroting, they're not the enemy. Now some of them
Yeah,
will
these
act
lies have
like
been
the
told
enemy.
for a long time,
Yep.
so they're systemic. And so 1946 will get at the root of it. Pray Away looks at conversion therapy and the dangers of it, and then how these movements got started, how those specific ones ended, but how the torch now has been passed. And so these are still issues going on today. In 1946, then we'll hopefully pick up, and now we'll delve into scripture, we'll delve into language, we'll delve into history, we'll delve into relational as well.
Right.
But really get to that broader understanding of how we got here so we can start dismantling it, and then building what Kathy says. She says it in the film too. Then, as the church starts to crumble and this stuff starts to fall apart, we can be there to lay a foundation, a strong foundation built off of facts to then, push us forward in the future. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
We have a
it's
birthday.
really cool.
Alexander says
Happy birthday.
Yeah, his birthday is tomorrow. So happy
Sweet.
birthday. Yep.
Happy birthday.
And someone else says that one of the hardest things I went through was being a Christian and coming out. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like I said, my coming out, I came out during a time that I was pagan. So people were not worried about me being gay as much as they were worried about me being pagan. So they skipped over the sexuality part, and they were just like, but
Wait, what?
You're Satanist. So like, and I wasn't a Satanist, but they're, their minds go everywhere when you say you're pagan or Wiccan or whatever. So it was more like, we're going to focus on that portion of you and not the gay part. And they assumed that that if I were to accept Christ, that the gay part would go away on its own. And what they did not realize was that I did eventually, and it wasn't because of them preaching to me and praying over me, but I did eventually denounce Wiccanism and accept Jesus Christ, but the gayness stayed. My sexuality remained intact, and that's what was
interesting.
So
interesting.
Confusing.
That's what they focused on. Wow.
Yep. To them,
when was that? How long ago was that?
98, and between I would say 97 to about 98, 99.
Interesting. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's interesting too, like how issues shift in the church, so and different groups end up getting persecuted, or one sin's greater than the other. It's just,
I think they thought that, and you see this narrative a lot in even in this documentary, that when they group everything together, they group all behaviors together. And so and what I see even on TikTok, when we if you were ever to get lost on ex-gay TikTok, you will see plenty of people with these testimonies of, I used to be, and they have all of these horrible behaviors. I used to be on drugs. I used to be an alcoholic. I used to, prostitute my body, or do all these things that are behaviors that they consider negative and horrible, and, that are headed down a downward path. And then they say, and then they group their sexuality in with it. I was homosexual, or I was transgender.
Right.
And then I met Jesus, and all of it changed. And it's like, that is so, first of all, that's dangerous. Second of all, like, what is your sexuality?
It's misleading.
Yeah, very misleading. And I think it's even misleading for them, because I don't think that they understand that you could have remained transgender. You could have remained, same gender loving. Your behaviors, may have been pretty, horrible. Like, you probably were headed down a pretty bad path if you were strung out or whatever. But that had nothing to do, the two had nothing to do with one another, and denouncing drugs and drug abuse has nothing to do with sexuality. So
absolutely. 100%. And a lot of the times, we become what we hear. And so growing up during that, even now, but those time periods, during the times of Exodus, and the times during the AIDS epidemic, if you're promiscuous, you'll get these things, and then these types of behaviors lead to these types of behaviors, and it's all linked to drug abuse and alcohol abuse. But that's also then those pressures of what you hear, and then when you get pushed out of your communities, you get embraced sometimes in some very unhappy behaviors and habits to then cope, or hide away from any feelings that you're trying to suppress.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they're linked, but we have to be honest on how they're linked and why they're linked, but they're
Right.
not, but it's not, the sexuality is not the sin, so.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah,
Exactly.
it's a lot of, like we were saying, systemic, deep rooted issues and internalized homophobia, not
Mm-hmm.
only external but internal. So
Yeah.
a lot of layers there. Yep, the
Way.
heteronormative for sure.
Yep. Super layered. And it's so sad. I saw somebody else, is the obsession with sexuality address, it just seems so obvious it's from repression. Yeah, I think they address the fact, and even, I mean, it's so refreshing to see some of the Exodus people, because Exodus shut down, and a lot of them now, not all, but a good amount of them have denounced and said, we were wrong, just like Rocky said in the beginning. We were wrong. We're sorry. They've come out with apologies, and it's really refreshing to see those people kind of explain even their thought processes during the
Totally.
time, yeah, that they were pushing this narrative of you can change, you can change, you can change. And and in the back of their minds, they're not even changed. They're like, yeah, we're still gay. So
Yeah. Yep, definitely. And even the one character's story, Yvette, she's married with two kids. So a
mhm.
lot of the times, or you'll hear Alan Chambers, who's also in the film toward the end of the movie, mention he's only seen one successful case of someone who's changed, and she's the example. But she's bisexual,
She even
like
says it.
right, and she didn't even realize herself that that was a thing. She just thought she could camouflage. Another important thing, or just blend in. Uh, um, to mention, oh shoot, I forget what I was going to say about the whole blending in and the whole bisexual thing. Like they just don't even think that that's a real thing. Oh, I know what it was. And so when these characters, who are the four people in the film, talk about being on the stage and saying that, yeah, they've actually changed, they've realized later how damaging that was, because they weren't really changing, they were lying.
Right.
And so the people in the audience were like, well, how come I'm not changing? And it ended up being even more damaging
Mm-hmm.
to people who were listening to these people tell these narratives. And again, they were just swept up into it themselves, but as they started
Mm-hmm.
to break it apart and dismantle these things, they were like, wow, how damaging was that? Just realizing what they were doing.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I
it's a
think it
tough
was
watch.
Yvette in the documentary who ended up kind of like having a PTSD, and like really like having to go see a therapist, and the therapist saying, "Hey, this thing that you're doing is damaging you."
Yeah.
Like the keeping
Yeah.
up the lie is damaging you. And it's like,
Right.
that was like, wow.
Yeah, and her voice is so important as a bisexual woman, because she could have continued to just blend in.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to use her voice, and now she's written a book. She's close
Beautiful.
friends with Kathy Boldock. Before I even knew about the movie Pray Away, we interviewed Yvette with Kathy. We had them on a hiking trail. We have them driving to the hike. We have this whole scene with them, and then did a solo interview with Yvette about her story, and now being on this other side, her new side,
Wow.
realizing that before she was really just advocating against LGBTQ rights. And that's what led her away. And
Mm.
so as she was switching sides, she learned of Kathy Boldock and realized they lived 3 miles from each other. So they
Wow.
developed this friendship, right? And so now, literally yesterday, so Yvette and Kathy and I text each other all the time, and now they're really more excited now that the films come out. And I ask Kathy for stuff all the time, and she's so busy, or she's like, "I'll get it to you when I can," kind of thing. And it's like, I'm trying to make a movie. You don't understand. We need like tons of archive stuff. So literally yesterday or 2 days ago, I was texting Yvette, and we need stuff for the film. And now it feels like I am texting Kathy through Yvette to get answers, because I won't get answers through Kathy, but Yvette is with Kathy so much. She'll just be like, hey, Rocky needs to know. And then
Right.
Yvette just texts me. It's hilarious. So yesterday they were at the library, because Kathy's local library was sent the documents from Yale, as Kathy's finishing up her book and
I
doing more
saw a
research.
picture on Facebook of
Yeah.
them. They had their mask on and they
Oh
were
yeah, totally.
got
So
it.
they were gathering the letters for us that we need for the movie, so we can start digitizing them and doing the cool things that we're doing with the graphics, so we can show the letters in the movie.
Nice.
So anyway, so they were doing that yesterday, but it's exciting and they're excited. And Yvette is really, again, she didn't have to use her voice; she could just blend, but it was killing
Mm-hmm.
her. And she's
Yep.
like, I can't keep this lie. And so my point with that is, for all of our bisexual brothers and sisters out there who are in what would be considered mixed orientation marriage or a heteronormative marriage, those people that use their voice or start speaking up in the churches are so important. I see more and more of
Yep.
those voices come out, and so that they can say, hey, no, this is killing me. This is wrong. I
Yeah.
need to stand up for my LGBTQ brothers and sisters. Hello, how you doing? So anyway, so we have her in our film. We're really excited that she's a part of it, and you know,
Beautiful.
yeah, and we can, because conversion therapy was always important, to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and it plays such a big role in the history of church history in moving the mark, as far as like them trying to get what they call the culture wars and them getting a handle on it so that they
Mm-hmm.
can control society. It all comes down
Yep.
to them really about control. And they don't even try to hide it. So that's just some of the themes we'll talk about in the film. So anyway,
Yep. And
and
they
Kathy's
don't
work
try to hide
exposes
it.
all that. Yeah, they don't. Mm-mm.
We got a
Yeah.
good amount of good folks on here. There's Deja, 1970. There's Carmen Jack, who says, I love Jesus and I'm not straight. There's PAO, is it Palso? She says, hello. Okay, and you saw the movie Manny is here. And you can see the movie, Brelisa, on Netflix. It's called Pray Away. And so it's streaming now, just started today. It's streaming now on Netflix. So go check it out. It's in, like I said, prepare for it. Prepare your heart for it to see it. It's it's heavy. It's very heavy. So
I've got Phoenix, Arizona here. Phoenix voiceover here wants to know basically when 1946 is going to be out. Hey, Pray Away, what's happening? Pray Away, the movie just came in. Oh, I just got butterflies. I'm like fangirling over here.
cool.
We're talking about your movie. I forgot to actually put it up in our in my little signature bar thing, but we're here with Candace, Godly, and Gay, and we're just talking about the movie and preparing the audience for it and different things. And then somebody asked when 1946 is going to be done. So we are in post production right now. While we're still a little bit in production, I would say we're about 85% of the way through production. We've got about 5, maybe 6 shoots. 4 out of those are scheduled. COVID is kind of playing a little bit of a problem again right now, as the Delta variant is coming out. So we'll see how that happens. But anyway, we're finishing filming while we're in post production, and we do have a draft of the movie done. We have 2 structures of the film, so we're working through them right now. And then the structure is always a big thing, but the pieces are there. They feel great. I saw the film. I did a spotting session with Mary Lambert last week, who's doing our composition. So we were starting to talk about the score, which is incredible. And hopefully we can have a really good draft of the film done in the next 2 months to really start sending out. The goal is to submit to film festivals for a 2022 premiere, and then through that, work on distribution. We do have some distribution avenues we're working on right now, and a major company that wants to shop our project that we're working on right now. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But we're still fundraising. If anybody wanted to help us, all of this has been independently fundraised, mostly through y'all, through social media. Like, this has just been the way that I don't know people with a lot of money, and it was kind of just the way to do it, And we are a little bit over halfway through our funding goal, which is really incredible. But if anybody wanted to help us get through technical post right now is what we're funding for. There are a couple links in our bios. But I think we're going to hit our goals, and I can't wait to finish, really, honestly. And Pray Away is a great movie for y'all to watch, to start really discussing these things, getting these things out there more into our churches, into our schools, into our everywhere, our workplaces, and start normalizing LGBTQ people and understanding that we are who we are, and these conversion type situations are dangerous. It starts within our
Mhm.
church, and that's where 1946 picks up, so that we can really delve into the scripture, really delve into, hey, Freddie, uh, the history, the language, the church culture, how this started, so we can then expand the conversation to, as Kathy says in the film, lay a foundation. As the church starts to crumble and we start to really like crumble and take, start dismantling these untruths, we
Mhm.
can be there to lay a strong foundation built off of facts. So
That's right.
that was a long
Yep.
answer for when the movie's coming out, but there you go.
No, it was a good answer though. Yeah, and I'm with you, Joe. He's saying that he's scared that the church will try to shut the message down, and
They
I'm
already
with you.
are.
That yeah,
They're
that's
giving us
it's
tons of free press right now. It's incredible.
yeah. A matter of fact, I just saw. I was on something, and I just ran across somebody trying to refute 1946. But how do you refute something that's not even out yet? You know
Every
none of the
day.
facts.
It's like it's a 2.5 minute trailer. They're like, this movie doesn't do this and this movie doesn't do that, and it's like, okay, Mr. Assumptions, like,
Right.
so honestly, I just linked the article. Nanny, who's on our call right now or our live stream, helps to collect all of the links, and we're just putting them in a spreadsheet and watching them and listening, and
They have nothing to say, I'm sure, because I mean,
well,
there's
here's
nothing
what
to
they don't
refute.
say. They never
Mhm.
mention Kathy Bullock's name. And she's the one who's written the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the only thing that they say is they'll be like, well, of course that man in the trailer came to those conclusions because he's led by his lustful desires. They're not even being honest. Like, there's not even like
Right.
academic integrity there.
Right.
So they're really helping us in the long run.
Mhm.
And so we make sure to download the links right away too. I save everything as quickly as I can. I save all the
Right.
receipts. So
Exactly. So yeah, so when they pull it down for whatever reason, then you still have it. But yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Yep.
it is
Ridiculous.
ridiculous. But anyway, that was exciting. Pray Away came into the chat for a little bit. And so, has anybody else seen the movie, or does anybody have any questions about the Pray Away movie or anything to think about in those themes?
I know I have a couple of folks from my church that are going to be watching it. They said they're going to watch it later today. So hopefully and here's the important thing, everybody, to watch it this week. So the sooner we start watching it and just kind of pulling it up, then it can start getting into the mainstream. Netflix will know it's trending. And so then they'll put it on the front page. So right now you're gonna have to probably search for it. At least I do, and you'll have to go to your search engine, put in "Pray Away." But soon enough, if we push this thing hard enough, when you go on Netflix, it should be like in the trending. Hopefully, if enough of us are watching it
Yeah.
and telling our friends to watch it.
And that's the language too. It's so funny, when I made that video that ended up, and now it has like 340,000 views or something like that, which is crazy. You never know which video is going to go viral. But I'm like,
Yeah, just now telling
Netflix
my
will
wife
push it
that.
out to other audiences, and I didn't know what to say, but that's what it is. It'll make it trending. Like, I don't know these things. I'm still learning all these different. But it is trending, at least in Yvette's neighborhood, because she just posted on her Instagram that it's trending. This morning I had to actually find it. Like, I had to almost type in the entire,
Yeah, me
you know,
too.
yeah, title. So yeah, we'll see where it
Hopefully.
lands in a couple days.
Yeah.
I can't post right now. I'm literally in TikTok jail. Hopefully by the time I'm off this call, I'll be able to post again. But otherwise, I'm gonna stitch your thing or do edit your thing. And I'll do some more
Aw,
Pray Away stuff. But yeah, hilarious, right? I mean,
it
it's not really
is.
funny. It's
It's not.
sad.
It's really. It's. I was so upset when it happened to me. Like I had somebody obviously get really mad at me, and I think I know why, and I think I know who did it. Because like he came on bullying me and he called me an idiot, but he spelled it wrong, and so, so normally like I would I would like just block him, but I had to do a video to show like you're calling me an idiot, but like you can't even spell it, and so he got mad and he said I was bullying, and then like the very next video I put in, he flagged that one, and I forgot to block him, and so yeah, I was in face or TikTok jail for like 3 days. It was not fun. It's not
Rev
happy.
Timmett just told me that trick because I told him I'm gonna stop like doing the comment replies and like sometimes they were funny at first, especially when they're like Jesus said this, and it's just like I pull out the Jesus photo and it's like Jesus said what, and
Right.
they were fun for a minute, but we really don't. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I do want to make sure that we're being respectful, and so some of them got a little out of control, so I can understand sometimes where TikTok is coming from, but no, they're purposely like just reporting silliness. Anyway, if
Mm-hmm.
we do want to do a comment post, Rev Timmett suggests to just block the person that's trolling you and being keep the comment, block them, and then do some sort of post.
So they can't get mad. Mm-hmm.
They can't post about it, right? You don't have to be a jerk about it. You can just say, look at this silly person or whatever. I don't know. But I was like, that's a good way. But I don't know. I'm learning how to navigate this app and
Me too.
still be respectful. But at the end of the day, sometimes I hear this ringing in my voice from our friend James, who has a couple videos on here, who talks about how what the church does is spiritual, emotional. It's abuse. It's spiritual abuse. It's emotional abuse. It's psychological abuse. And he says we don't talk about it often enough. And another thing he follows up with is, and honestly, we're being too nice. And so sometimes we wake up and we get comments that are just like, yeah, we're being too nice, and we're here to say enough is enough. But we still need to be reminded that we don't want to be, jerks, and we have to maintain certain indignity.
Right. Yeah, you
But
can't.
it's
be,
hard.
It's
Not
mean.
easy. So,
It
but we're
is because
learning, and we're human
people are
too.
mean. Like,
Yeah,
and it's like if you're
vicious.
mean, yeah, then I'm gonna get a little snarky with you if you're mean.
Right.
Like, but if
Yeah,
you're nice,
exactly. Yeah. Sometimes,
yeah.
though, the snarkiness is turned into people like, turned into conversations. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't block all people that disagree. Because there's some people that I can tell when people are genuine in the sense that, and they might come off wrong at first, but then they're genuine and really kind of wanting to know. And so because they'll come at a different angle, really. I can also tell the ones that are completely just there to troll. And so those I just block, because literally they only have 4 followers, or they're following 4 people, 0 people follow them, and they have no content and no picture. And so it's just like, you're not really a real person. And so I usually block them. But
Yeah. Right. I've also learned too that there's farming companies out there that
Really?
are baiting you to try to make a comment that they can then report. So just be on the lookout for that. And those profiles, they would have posted 4 or 5 things, but in a day or two, or within a couple hours of each other, to make it look like there's a lot. I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, it's just, it gets deep. But
yeah,
we need to keep building our content, keep sharing the love, keep telling the good news and all that jazz. And somebody just wrote, Adele just wrote, just watched Pray Away and I feel broken. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I liked how they ended on the happy note with the wedding and, just some hopeful themes. Although I guess it does still end with Jeffrey, who is the person who's carrying the torch. So
yeah.
It's tough.
And what I find ironic about Jeffrey, and even Kathy on her Facebook page, and I think even on Twitter, talked about this a little bit, that he does not.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm giving away the movie. Go ahead. He talks about.
Yeah. He doesn't sound like he was genuine to begin with. And what he's doing now, it sounds like he was a very, very confused, misguided, looking for a home, looking for community, gay guy, but figured, and just got lost in it. And he then recalibrated and was doing all sorts of stuff. And again, grouped all of his stuff into one lump and found Jesus, and as if Jesus was lost, but found Jesus, and
Right.
then changed and chucked everything because he found new community. And so to fit into new community, he,
Right.
so my thing is, if you're just authentic in who you are, right? And just be you, however weird that is. However, this is what I'm learning in my little 41 years. I remembered how, well, my wife told me how old I was. For my little 41 years, if you're just authentic, weird as you are, at least I'm weird, whatever that is, that your family will come to you. You'll get family, you'll get your people. Like,
Right.
because people value authenticity, they value real. And so if you're trying to mold yourself, whether that's mold yourself into being gay, and you're really not, or mold yourself, and maybe you're bisexual and trying to mold yourself into this group, or maybe you're trying to mold yourself into that group to fit in, or even mold yourself into being super ultra conservative Christian, ultimately you're doing yourself a disservice. God says he wants worshipers in spirit and in truth. How can you come in truth if you're not being authentic? So
Right.
yeah, I think he lacked authenticity to
You can
begin
just see
with.
right through it. It's
Yep.
it's sad, you
It's
know.
super
It's
sad.
really heartbreaking. And then it's damaging. I'm surprised. I'm really grateful that he was in the movie.
Mm.
Uh, as damaging of what he's doing, but I'm surprised when people do agree to be. But I guess because they are convicted, they believe that what they're doing is right, or they have to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah. But
yeah.
no, that wasn't a spoiler. That was just
Well,
it was an observation.
I did mention the happy ending, which I won't say it again, just in case somebody just joined.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
spoiler.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I
was a
could go on,
spoiler.
but I won't. I forgot that people haven't seen the film. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on, like I have to pass the test. It's like I've watched to the end. I know.
I know what happens.
Right, I know what happens. Hilarious.
Julie
I
is
didn't even think
awesome.
about spoilers.
I was like all excited because like there's this thing that kind of we Matthew Vines, a couple other people um did. It's like a Christian um LGBT leaders retreat that we did in North Carolina some years ago. And Julie was someone that she was the
Oh
person I
wow,
roomed with.
really?
Yeah. So she was there. So it was kind of cool seeing her on the screen, and like seeing what she's been up to, and seeing her life, and how it's good, because I mean we talked about some of the struggles, and she talks about them in the film, as far as being in this ultra conservative Christian world, and not fitting the like not fitting the narrative, but then having the narrative be imposed on her. Because
Right.
some what they do is they're going to make you out to be a man hater if you're a lesbian. And personally, like, and I guess I'm bisexual, so I don't really fit the bill, but I don't hate men at all. Like, like I don't hate them. So I just don't, like, I don't necessarily want to be married to one, but I don't hate them. And so, but they're going to push that narrative of, well, you must hate men. You must have had a hard time with your father. You must have had a bad experience with a man, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, that's not it. Like, what? Like, that's not the reason that someone is LGBT, because of a bad experience or whatever. It's literally who they are. It's who God created them to be. Like, and that's not hard to, I don't think it's hard to really grasp, but to some it is.
Yeah, they don't want to grasp it. They can't grasp it. Everything has to fit into those two little boxes for them.
Yep.
So, but for most people, the stories go, I was about 5 years old when I realized. And that's right around the time where you start realizing the differences in gender expression. And or what really is happening is societal gender expression, how society is portraying the
Mm-hmm.
heteronormative themes that we see in all the Disney movies, and now they're leaning the other way, and the conservatives are losing their
They're
mind.
losing their minds. Oh
Right,
my
but it's
goodness.
like, think about, so even as I'm doing this process, I've been looking through archive footage, and some of it has to do with church footage and things with my dad and I are in the movie. And I found footage of a high school play that I did. I was in ninth grade, and I'm like, they let us do this play in ninth grade. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Wow.
it's called The Pajama Game, and it's about this industry of pajama factory, and it's all, you know, the women are the secretaries and the men and their roles, and then there's just this one scene. I don't even know if I'm mixing up the two plays now because I watched a couple of them, but one guy like has the girl alone and he wants to make sure he has some time with her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna rape her. You know what I mean? Like the
Oh,
whole thing was just
wow.
creepy and weird, and it's just like,
And these are the,
it's
yeah,
pushed on us since we're, you know, our
little
entire
kids.
lives, and they don't even see it because it's their reality, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
now looking back in retrospect, it's like, whoa, you know.
Right.
uh,
This is horrible. Yep.
I can
And
I
yeah,
can
so we're
only
talking
imagine
about
what that
pray
life would
away.
be like nowadays as a kid. You know, we're not trying to teach, nobody's teaching sex. It's about um just your identity. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin as an educator. That's not my field, you know.
Right.
But imagine being a kid and realizing, oh wow, I don't have to fit into that little box. I don't have to figure out which Joe I'm going to marry that I don't want to marry, you know.
Right.
And not even have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Anyway.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, no one's trying to teach kids, or as far as I know, teach children how to have sex or even date someone of the same gender. It's literally just, literally, it's like, okay, here are the different types of people in the world.
Exactly. Right.
Everybody's not the same. So you have some people who are heterosexual, meaning, you know, there's a mommy and daddy. There's some that are two mommies or two daddies, and vice versa, or even talking about gender expression. Some people are he, she, some are they, you know, or some people prefer not no pronoun at all. Like these are not hard concepts, and no one's teaching anything specific. It's the heterosexual mind that goes straight to the bedroom
Right.
anytime someone mentions homosexuality, or someone is, and it goes straight to the genitals when someone is transgender, non-binary, or whatever the case is. Like, literally, there's no like there's no other. It's like a one-track mind. These people are gay. How do you have sex? How do you procreate? And it's like,
Right.
wait. Like,
No, it's
no
about
mention of love.
companionship. It's about
Right.
who you want to build your life with, you know. And so,
Right.
how do we build from those foundational themes to get that understanding across? But there's a lot of work to do. There's a
A
lot of work to
whole
do.
lot of
We
work.
get it. We get it because that's all we want, you know.
Yeah.
And not knowing that, first of all, that was obtainable, and now it's people are understanding is more obtainable, but not that unknowing leads to, again, some of these abuses of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, you know, these
Mhm.
other things, because you don't even know how to find yourself within your identity because the society doesn't afford you those opportunities.
That's true.
So so we're developing as a culture. We have a long way to go. Hopefully the film will help educate everyone to understand, even us to understand these themes on how to have these conversations, because obviously I have a long way to go, and a lot to learn around this, you know. So I'm
Yeah,
learning
as
every
we
single
all
day
do.
with y'all, you know?
As we all
So,
do.
yeah,
Someone asked, is your
exactly.
account private now? No, she's in TikTok jail right now. So that's what.
I can't post. It says until 8/3, which should be today, at 16:39, which I read as 4:39, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe it's
Maybe it's
Pacific
a
time
different.
because I
Yeah.
tried and it didn't let me. So I'll try after we get off this. I've got, 120 some drafts, but only two ready to post.
Oh, I noticed something on my computer, and I'm like, ooh, this is a game changer, but it's really not, because on the computer you can schedule post, and
Oh,
I didn't
great.
realize it. Yeah, but the only problem is I create through my iPad, and so, and I'm not creating through my computer. The videos will look horrible, so it
Yeah,
really
that's
does me no
weird.
good. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you can upload them though through the computer. If you make them, but
Possibly.
you make them directly in the app the whole time, because we do some of ours in Premiere. So yeah,
Yeah, no,
huh?
I make them directly through the app. I'm not all that, savvy yet, and so I just put it right on my iPad, and I just learned how to like clip the videos and make the little scenes smaller. Like I literally just learned maybe like 3 weeks ago how to arrange the videos. If you notice, like in my
Oh yeah.
oldest stuff, like I was literally like changing costume in between clips. So like, cause I didn't realize that I could like do all of one and then and then figure it out. And so
Oh
I was like, and so
wow.
like my hair, like in some of those videos, everybody's gonna go back and watch them now. Some of the older ones, like if I'm doing the mother character, my hair would end up really like fuzzy toward the end because I was taking the hat off and putting it back on. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Rev
it
Timmick wants to know
is.
if I'm giving TikTok production I and the answer is no. I was just about to follow up with, I'm just learning the app too. Rev Timmick had to teach me things. I'm like,
Right.
Bree is there. I'm like, Bree, you're gonna have to push the button on both of our phones. He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, we're gonna start all the way over there. He's like, set the timer. I'm like, timer?
There's a
What
timer?
timer? Yeah, exactly. And then the other day somebody was like, 1946. If you don't put captions on all of your videos, you're excluding a whole group of people. And it was really snarky. And I'm like, I said, with all due respect, I spent a lot of time making these videos, and I type all the messages. You can hit a little caption button this whole
Now I
time.
did know about the caption button. Oh, and
I
I
think it's
literally
new.
I used
Tell
to
me the
not do
caption button is
captions.
new. It's
It's
got
no,
to
I don't
be.
think it's new. I don't
Okay,
think
good.
it's new.
You're supposed to make me feel better. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's new to me though. Like I
This is
at
when
first I
lying is
didn't do
okay. No, I'm
captions.
kidding.
Yep, I didn't do captions, and then I no one got on me though, but I saw it on someone else's. They're like, those of us that are hearing impaired, like we can't listen to your video if we don't have captions. And I didn't know how to do captions, honestly. And so like the very next video, I typed out all of the the whole thing. Because I'm like, I gotta make some captions, and how are these people doing it like this? And then
Exactly. I was like, there's got to
yeah,
be a separate app for it. There's
right.
got to be an
And then I
app.
found the caption button. I'm like, oh, okay. Then you go in and edit them. I was like, oh, you can edit them, because I think my first one with the automated captions, it's all messed up, like and the words aren't the real words. But then the next one, I figured I had to edit the caption. So yeah,
Oh man, yeah. No, I just learned that, so we'll have captions, y'all. Don't worry. And it's something that actually, I mean, I do really think about. And so those kinds of comments actually upset me more sometimes than the troll comments, because I care so much about including everybody and really listening to everybody and working on myself to make sure I'm listening to other minority groups, and so I constantly, anybody that we're working with, or even with the events that we went out to, I wanted to make sure we had closed caption and the whole nine. So people don't know my whole thought process. So when I see comments like that, that upsets me more than the
right.
trolls. It's like,
Yeah, I totally get it.
I'm
I
working
get it.
really hard over here for y'all.
I had a lady comment on one of my videos with the guy with the dip, and he talks like this, and she's like, well, that's not very fair to someone who is from the South with a Southern drawl that dips or something like that. And I'm just like, like, I mean, because he's dumb, like that character is like the really like anybody that puts a dumb comment, like I turn that character on because it's like you just whatever. But in any case, they're like, that's not very fair. And I'm like, like in my mind, I see what they're saying as far as it's a stereotype that is unfair. I did not do it in the sense of let me create this character because I think all people that are from the South that speak with a Southern drawl, like I would be making fun of like half of my family at that point. Like, I think that
Right, right.
like I'm from the South. So maybe if I was a Northerner and I'm making fun of Southern people, but I live in Savannah, Georgia, and half the people that I know and love, are Southerners with a Southern drawl. My family, and so he's just a character that's in my mind, and the way he came out was just the way he came out. Not to knock anybody, that speaks like with a Southern drawl at all. he just came out the way he did. Somebody's asking a question about movies, other films similar to Pray Away or 1946 that you recommend in relation to deconstruction. And someone already said, for the Bible tells me so. Um, and I think that's the only answer they got so far.
Yeah, and I don't know if they so that one, and then For They Know Not What They Do is Daniel's second movie. I don't know if they really necessarily deal with deconstruction, more or less with this intersection of faith and sexuality. But Dan Carslake, who's our executive producer, has those two films, For the Bible Tells Me So and For They Know Not What They Do. For the Bible Tells Me So, I think you can watch for free on YouTube. And For They Know, you can go to fortheyknow.org and you'll find a link to purchase the film, I think. And then for deconstruction, that's a really good question. Do you have any recommendations for deconstruction? I don't know about any long narrative films. Yeah. Do you have any ideas? No.
I don't know of any films in particular. I'm not much of me and my wife are having this conversation. I'm not much of a deconstruction type person.
Yeah.
I think technically, I guess what I do is deconstruction, but I've never titled it that. I've never, I don't know if I even fit the category of deconstruction, honestly. And someone just put Rachel Held Evans' books
Yep.
are good.
Somebody put that here too, and then Nadia Weber as well, Bowles Weber, and Rob Bell. Rob Bell's a good one for sure. Rob Bell is, an author. Definitely good recommendations. I had another thought in my head, and I forget. Oh, God is Gray is a good channel to watch on YouTube. And she talks a lot about these types of themes around the church.
Hi, Erin.
And deconstruction. But as far as movies are concerned, I'll have to think about that. Other LGBTQ movies. There's a lot of deconstruction podcasts and TikToks. Yep, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, TikTok is definitely where deconstruction is prime right now. I actually saw a video the other day from someone. I don't know if I follow this person. It was a new influencer that I saw come through. But he was saying how he believes or he predicts that the church is going to start to adapt deconstruction. Like right now, they're fighting the deconstructionists the most, but eventually they end up like becoming one of us kind of thing to get us to come back into the doors or whatever. And I just thought that was really interesting. And he had a couple of examples, which I don't remember what the examples were. And I was like, oh yeah, they did do that. They didn't like that group, and now they are acting like that group. It was pretty funny.
I thought,
but it makes sense when you saw it. When you think about it. So pretty clever.
I thought he was going to say something along the lines of they would try almost like colonize deconstruction, like what we call deconstruction is this, which is whatever. And I'm going to ask what is deconstruction in any case, but this is what we call deconstruction.
That's a good point.
But then we're going to name something that is not deconstruction, and they switch you so that you think you're deconstructing, but you're really not. Like that's what I would think the church would do.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You guys know April Joy on here, of course. And so April Joy is a redhead influencer, really funny. Sometimes wears that strawberry crown thing. I don't know. I'll send you April Joy.
Please do.
So the other day I saw a TikTok and it made me think of just doing some sort of television show about someone who's deconstructing like super hard, who like woke up one day and was just like, wow, my beliefs are very different from everyone else around me. And she just has a huge family, you know what I mean? And she's a little snarky, just like we see on the TikTok. So just will kind of randomly say things like the one scene I was thinking about was, at Christmas reading a Bible verse, and the Bible verse is about, like, oh, well, I have a Bible verse for you all. And it's the Bible verse about how Christmas trees are idolatry, kind of thing. And it's just, and then there's dead silence in the room. So I was like, we have to do a TV show, but That's a lot of work. Let me finish 1946, the
Right.
movie
Finish
first.
this.
That maybe we can write a
But
funny
I would
TV show
love to
around
write for you.
deconstruction.
I would love to help with that.
Yes. I'm sure we can have a ton of ideas, and it could just be so
Yes.
funny, just really real life situations, and come face to face with these things and put it out
Hmm.
there in a series. It would be fun. So,
I think it would too.
yeah, that's
Someone's
more
asking
scripted.
about fish out of water. I've never heard of fish out of water. Is that it's a
I've heard of
documentary?
it. I haven't seen it.
That
What are
might
they
be
saying
something
about
that
it?
I'll have to. They just wanted to know what our thoughts were on Fish Out of Water, the documentary. What's it about? I've the first time I've heard of it.
Fish Out of Water. K.Y. Dickens is the director. Uh, it faces down the controversies between homosexuality and religion, explaining or examining the Bible verses quoted, condemning it, and discussing alternative meanings. Oh, I'd have to check this out. It's in
Yeah,
2009.
sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to watch this tonight, probably. It's available on
Hmm.
Amazon. Thank you.
Cool. Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
Mercy Girl loves the idea of the TV show. I think it would be hilarious.
I
It's
think
like
it would
almost
too.
taking the
Hi, Lachlan.
TikToks and turning it into,
An actual, yeah,
yeah, like a 30-minute episode or something.
that would
Right?
be awesome.
Regular TV like we used to do. I'm just kidding.
Right? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, because I was watching Good Times, and I'm like, this is what. Hi, Meg Dog, living life. This is where my whole, like, I guess comedy. The way I'm doing comedy is coming from. It's from those roots. I was watching 227 the other day as well, and I'm just like, here's where I'm. This is what I'm doing. Like I didn't even realize it until I was watching the episodes, and I'm like, those little snarky comebacks that they have. I'm like, that's all I'm doing. Like this is what's feeding me. Like all of those episodes that I watched of all of these old 80s and 70s shows, like it's all there. And so I miss a good 80s show with with really good like the Golden Girls with those snappy comebacks. Yeah, somebody's like 227, yes, Golden
Yeah,
Girls. Like
totally.
that's comedy to me. Like that's good
Freddie,
stuff.
are you on both? Are you on both live streams right now? Because he just said the same thing on mine too. I think he's on both. Is it
Who is it?
postmodern
No,
mystic?
I don't have. No,
Okay.
he's not on mine, but I know him.
Okay, great.
Designing Women, yes. Sugar Baker, yes.
Oh,
All of
Designing
those
Women.
good.
That's a good one. I haven't seen that one in
Yep.
forever.
Those were all that type of comedy is like that's it for me. I love it. And I haven't seen that in a long time.
Nanny said she's going back and forth. That's hilarious. Somebody wants to know when the documentary is coming out, y'all. I can't wait to finish. I'm working as hard as I can. We just signed another 10-week contract with our editor, so like I'm literally trying to keep up with her every single day because she's the only paid person really on the job, right? And unless we're out filming, sometimes we pay a person here or there. So she's very expensive, as you can imagine. And so we don't have things to keep up with her. So we're trying to finish as quickly as possible. I think we might have to contract her for a little bit more after this 10 weeks, but we're looking to finish the movie this year to submit to film festivals for a 2022 premiere. Stay tuned for updates. We'll keep you posted. We've got a couple structure edits going right now. The movie's looking great. I know that there are some elements that can make it even better. And so, like right now, we still are trying to make the Sundance submission for September 27th. I don't know if that's realistic. And if the movie needs to be better, there are other festivals. We're not going to worry
Right.
about it so much. But I do feel we'll finish this year to show y'all next year. Don't know when yet. That's all I know. I know I sound like a
Beautiful.
broken record when I say that, but if y'all wanted
It's
to
all
help,
right.
yeah, duet, stitch, share. There's a GoFundMe. There's a fiscal sponsor if anybody wanted to donate on a larger level. And all that information is linked in our bio.
And please go to 1946 the movie, click on the bio and give. You know, there's no small gift. So give, you know,
It
and
really makes a
so into
huge
this.
difference.
Yeah,
You'd be
so into this.
surprised, you know. So it
I'm
all adds
totally
up
excited
quickly.
about it.
Um, but yeah, you all have
Well,
been so generous,
thank you,
and
Mitch.
we did hire a graphic designer too. We started to pay her, so that her money's in the bank, like, and so we release money, you know, as she does work, but she's contracted for that payment, that whole
Nice.
entire fee for her. And then we just worked out the final deal with Mary Lambert, and I'm putting together a payment schedule for her. She's going to receive a 5-figure sum on next month, which, you know, is going to be, you know, whatever her first little payment. It's not that much overall, but it's a lot of money, as you can imagine, to make a movie.
Right.
So, I'm very excited to write that check and get her in contract. And I did a spotting session with her, as I mentioned earlier, to go over the music. And now we're ready to start building that. So thank you, everyone, because it wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to write those checks without y'all.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. And
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about 1946 is the fact that the community is funding this. Like this is
100%.
yeah, this is ours, like in a very real sense, you know, in the sense that we are behind it. And if you're not behind it yet, get behind it, because I really believe the reason I'm behind it is that it's about to drastically change the conversation as it relates to LGBTQ people in the church. The Bible has been mistranslated, and there is evidence and proof of this mistranslation.
Yep.
And this movie is highlighting it. We've been saying it for many, many years. We've been, you know, a lot of us have been teaching it for years. But now there's actual solid proof that's going to be in this movie, this documentary, that's going to be extremely hard to refute. And so I think it is literally going to change. It's going to save so many lives. The amount of people I think that are going to be touched by this is and will be touched by this for years to come. We just put in the chat, what are some movies that we can watch? And For the Bible Told Me So popped up. That's a movie that's been out for what, 20 years now?
Yep.
And it's still impactful and it's still helping us. And I think 1946 is going to do the exact same work.
Thank you. And then just going back to the whole grassroots thing. So one of our friends who is on this live right now, his name's Freddie, is helping me do some grant writing, but also helping me write letters to lawyers because we're soliciting for legal help, which includes IP work, which is intellectual property, to make sure that we're holding on to the idea and protecting the idea and the
Mm-hmm.
brand, which is building, but then also an entertainment lawyer, because right now we are getting approached by companies and different things, and we want to make sure, and I need to make sure that we don't lose this 3 years of work and sign away a project or lose control over the project. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
about creative control as an ego thing, it's about creative control because this project is so important. We
Mm-hmm.
have to maintain control. We have to make sure that it's aired the way that we want it to air, that the
Yep.
message gets out the way that we want it to get out. And not in a way where it's like the truth is being told. We can't have anybody manipulate this.
Yep.
It's the same with when Kathy and Ed were doing their research for their book. They didn't want organizations to fund it. It's all grassroots individuals because they don't want an organization to then have an influence over, well, we want the research to show this or say this. No, we want to show what the research shows, period. And if we go
Right.
in with an idea and our idea is proven wrong, we're going to show that idea. And that's the integrity that they stand on. So, anyway, so as you know, we've come this far. I can't make a single mistake to lose it all. So these are
Mm-hmm.
really important moves that we're making right now, and it's really cool to see the community come together and then get help, like our friends who are helping. Somebody else really quickly just put prayers for Bobby. I used to work on that movie. I worked on that movie actually. So if you look at my
I thought it
credits
was
on
somebody named
IMDb,
Bobby. I was like, who is Bobby and what do they need prayer for? Like, I was about to
I know,
pray.
right?
But it's a documentary, it's a movie. Got
It's
it.
it's a feature film starring Sigourney Weaver, and she plays a real life LGBTQ now activist after her son did kill himself from drug abuse, and I believe he jumped off a bridge. He couldn't handle the pressure anymore of being LGBTQ, with his parents really saying that that's unacceptable. And so when she realized she drove her child to suicide, that was her awakening. And so the story's about that. And
Yeah.
it's really, yeah, it's hard. But it was a book at first, and then now it's a movie. So that was my first feature film, actually, that I ever worked on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get up to speed on that one. Yeah.
It was a Lifetime movie.
Okay. It
So,
sounds familiar. Now that you've explained it, it sounds familiar. So, yeah, that's horrible.
yeah,
So
it is.
horrible.
Yeah.
And truly, I don't know that these. All right, Aaron. See you later. I've got
Mark
South
Wahlberg
Africans
has a
here.
movie coming out soon, an LGBTQ film.
Wait, oh, you said Mark Wahlberg. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I can deal with him. I thought the first picture that came in my mind was Kirk Cameron, and that's why I rolled my eyes. Like,
I know, right?
I was like,
no,
oh,
Marky Mark is the
okay.
Yeah, Marky Mark. What was that song he used to sing with his baggy pants? I forget. It's totally, I can see him dancing and singing it with his like no shirt on and his baggy pants and his boxers showing.
But
remember that stuff in the 90s?
Kids on the Block.
Yeah, but that's his brother. But yeah, so he did the, whatever. Who knows? Who cares? But he has a documentary coming out. That's crazy. There is another one too about from the guy who's in the band Imagine Dragons. And that movie, I forget what that movie's called, but it's about, so it's the Mormon church, but he's an ally, and he and his wife are both like, being LGBTQ is not a sin. Well, I don't know if they even call it that. I forget, but let me see what that movie's called. It's called Believer. It's called Believer. So definitely check out Believer. Let me see where you can watch that.
Yeah, I spend all my time. I don't watch a lot of TV, honestly. And now that I have a 4-year-old that's going to turn 5 in a couple of months, and literally all I watch is cartoons. And I got Disney Plus because that way I can actually enjoy the cartoons that we're watching together. So I haven't watched for 5 years, pretty much. I haven't watched like real TV, because if it's not kid oriented, then I'm not. Well, maybe 4 years, because the first couple months of her life, then she didn't know what was going on. But as soon as she turned about 1, I mean, it was Sesame Street and everything else. So hi, why use names?
I hear that. Somebody said Boy Erased. That's a feature film, but this Believer one is the guy from Dan Reynolds is his name, and he basically takes us on a mission to explore how the Mormon Church treats LGBTQ members. That's what it says.
Wow.
So it was really good. From a LGBTQ person watching it, have an ally stand up for the community. I loved the movie. I cried the entire time. My producer on 1946 had a completely different experience. She thought that, it wasn't his place to tell the story. But I quickly said to her, thank God he is, because we need more people like him to stand up for because I can't imagine. I mean, I guess I could imagine growing up in that environment and being LGBTQ, because we know what we go through,
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Mark Wahlberg thing. Joe Bell is watching Mark Wahlberg. I don't know what that is. You got to get with your 4-year-old now?
Yeah, she just came in. I guess she just got up. So mommy duties are at this point. I don't know why she's. Let's see. It's 7 o'clock. I don't know why she's up, but okay. She's supposed to be.
I'm gonna make dinner anyway, because I've been very bad today. I had like a bagel
and
coffee. Yeah,
exactly. That's you.
A little bit of candy. That's about it. And club soda, my classic club soda. So I'm gonna go make dinner. But it was lovely to talk with you. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and talk about Pray Away tonight. If you all haven't seen the movie, I definitely recommend it. And we
Please
can do
do.
this again soon. I do want to have a
Absolutely.
viewing party. I might do that this weekend. I'm just not sure. So be on the lookout, y'all. When I'm out of TikTok jail, I'll post and let you know.
Sounds good.
All right.
Don't do anything to put you back in jail before it's time. That's crazy.
I'm used to it. All right. Have a good night. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, you guys, make sure you tune in, watch Pray Away on Netflix, and leave it in my comment on the video that I did for this. Leave it in the comments what you thought about it. I would love to hear from you. Talk about it.
It's a great idea.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you
Have a good
guys.
night.
Thank you so much, Rocky.
You're welcome.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.